What up though, y'all? It's Chris. Good morning. 5:30 a.m. downtown Detroit. 10,000 steps. We own it. Nobody's out here but me. And I don't mind that. I just really enjoy soaking up the city like this before anybody gets up. But this morning I want to talk about dating single moms and why I don't recommend it. Now, I'm gonna throw out, a little caveat here. This is not me bashing single moms. I am not going to bash single moms. So if that's what you're here for, you might as well click off. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not even gonna bash the women in particular that I'm gonna be talking about my experience with. I'm just gonna be sharing with you what went down, what I experienced, and why overall I don't recommend you put yourself in these positions, but ultimately you decide what you're gonna do. So dating single moms, it can be complicated, or at least it was for me. It came with a lot of drama. I remember there was this one chick I was messing with. I'm gonna just tell y'all this. Like, she had a baby daddy that was like still super obsessed with her. He was just doing a lot of weird stuff. This guy, he'd be driving down the street. He'd be calling her, blowing her phone up. I mean, it was just a lot of drama with this guy, man. Now, he had a really young kid with her. The kid was not even a year old. So that might have been a red flag that I didn't know about. And here come what we got here. Some sort of work truck out. That's really all that's out here is the early risers already at work, people like myself that, get out, do their exercise, get it out the way. As I was saying, that probably was a red flag that I just didn't know about. The baby daddy's behavior. Long story short, what ultimately did this one for me, aside from the guy blowing her phone up, calling all the time, if he knew I was over there, he really got nuts then. I mean, he would really be calling all the time, driving by the block. Dude knocked on the door a few times. I kid you not. He knocked on the door a few times. She go to the door. She yelling at him, "What the hell are you doing? Why are you here? You're ruining my life," all that sort of stuff. I mean, this was some really awkward nonsense. And that's why I'm like, I don't recommend you get involved with a single mom. It's just too much silliness that comes along with it, too much drama. And I just don't advise you to get involved in such a scenario. The kicker though, and this was what really got me to leave her alone. We was in the living room. We was getting it in, all right? The mofo lifted the living room window up and climbed in. I repeat, he lifted the living room window and climbed in. I'm in the middle of smashing her on the couch in the living room. The TV's on. I remember it was like some commercial on at the time. It was one of those reality TV shows that was on, and it was during break. I don't remember exactly which one, but I do remember it was a commercial on at the time. I'm in the middle of smashing her on the couch. The living room window lifts up, and that mofo climbs in. I was absolutely done. I jump off of her, dick swinging, and I'm just like, what the actual... So, no, I was done. I grabbed my clothes, got dressed right quick, right there in front of him. She yelling at him, "What the fuck is this?" Yada, yada, yada. I don't have time for that, man. I was done. I put on my stuff. I left. I told her, don't even bother trying to call me. I was over that. I was absolutely over that situation. So your experience may not be as insane as mine, but it has the potential to be. And that's why I do not recommend you get involved with single moms, because that baby daddy aspect is just too unpredictable and it can get a little too silly. I'll give you another story of an experience I had dating a single mom. Because after that, it was like this huge gap where I would not date a single mom at all, even though I had my son at the time. That was the whole reason why I gave dating single moms a try, is because I was a single dad, so I thought it was kind of hypocritical to not date a single mom when I was a single dad. How am I going to refuse to date women with kids when I got a kid myself? Well, I ended up reneging on that, because I'm just like, the baby mama drama, I have none. When you deal with me, you don't get any drama. My son's mom has never in any way, shape, or form tried to create problems in my life, and I never tried to create problems with her. So there's a mutual respect there. Like, we cool, we always been cool. So I don't try to mess up her life, she don't try to mess up mine. But in many cases, people don't have this sort of relationship with their child's father or child's mother. So this next experience, which was many years later, because I'm like, okay, well, this woman, she's got older kids now. So the other bad experience with the baby daddy drama was when the kids was younger. Now the kids are older. No, because now you may have problems with the kids. The woman that I was with at the time, this was like 2016. She had this really troubled son. He was like 17. This young man was just chaotic. He just liked causing trouble. He would do all types of stupid stuff, creating issues. And I don't know, it's like he got off from it or something. He wanted to be suburban gangster so bad. And when I say suburban gangster, a lot of these guys like him, they not from the streets, don't know nothing about the streets, and they want to be gangster out in these suburban areas where it's nicer and safer, because they too lame and too scary to actually come to the city and be that way, because they know real gangsters here are going to immediately weed them out. So they try to be tough and do whatever they can't do in the city out in these suburban areas. So this young man, one evening, I don't know what his issue was. Like, he would just kind of like do stupid stuff without any sort of provoking. Next door to us lived her mom. And that night, her niece happened to be next door at her mom's house. We get a bam at the door out of nowhere. Her niece is like, y'all porch is on fire. I'm like, what in the world? So I go open the door. The two chairs that were sitting on the porch, they were leaned up against the house and on fire. Now, why in the world would you do something like that? Think about that. The two chairs were leaned up against the house and they were on fire. Those chairs, they burned it was like aluminum siding or whatever. They burned it, but if it was a more flammable, material, that could have been really bad. I've been mad at my mom before growing up, but one thing I can tell you is that I never, ever, ever would have tried striking a match in any way to a house where my mom was inside. I wouldn't even strike a match to a house at the end of the block that my mom is on, because I'd be too scared that some freak accident happened and somehow the wind blow house to house to house and it still get to my house anyway. So I would never, ever, ever, ever do that. That's insane to me. So that was one day. A few days later, I think it was like a Sunday. We had a great Sunday. All of us, him included. He and I had watched a movie together. He and I had played Mortal Kombat 9 on the 360. I had barbecued, so we had good food, ribs and whatnot. And it was just a great day. No issues, no nothing. Later on that evening, I'm like knocked out sleep. My son comes waking me up. Dad, your car is on fire. You heard me right. I did not stutter. I did not misspeak. Dad, your car is on fire. At the time, I had a burgundy Ford Mustang. That mofo lit my car on fire. And he was nowhere to be found, of course, right? He disappeared. We calling him. He's not picking up his phone. So we know it's him. And the following morning, he comes walking up to the house like ain't nothing happened. Like he didn't do what he did. And he acting like that pile of ash that's in the driveway from after the car got towed away, that he didn't even see it. I mean, it was total nonsense. To make matters worse, his mom knew he did it, but was trying to convince herself somehow that he didn't. So that put an enormous strain on our relationship, of course, because even though it wasn't her fault, technically, she didn't do it, it was hard to have so much hatred for this young man for what he did, because I was stuck. That was like my only vehicle, so I was pretty stuck. I had this insane hatred for this young man after he did what he did, especially I've done nothing but be good to him. You can't have hatred for her son while caring for her at the same time. I tried. It just was not happening. So that situation ended badly. All because I was involved with a woman that had kids. And again, this isn't her fault. But had I never gotten involved in that situation, that never would have happened to me. I never would have been dealing with that drama with her son. In the first situation, I never would have been dealing with that baby daddy nonsense. I just never would have had either one of those experiences. So I know the situations that I was in seem like extreme, but I really don't think that they are. I think that stuff like this happens more commonly than you would believe. It's just guys don't talk about it because they're too embarrassed. I'm not embarrassed. I'm gonna put y'all on game in hopes that I prevent you from making some of these same mistakes. So I'm not ashamed to tell these stories. I'm not embarrassed in any way. I want to put y'all in a position to where you can make better decisions based on the options you have, and you don't end up in these situations that I did. Now, your situation or your life, it may vary. Right? You may not have the same experience that I had, but conversely, it's also possible that your situation may end up worse. So you can have a similar experience than mine, or you can possibly have a worse experience than mine. Or just not get involved and you won't have an experience like that at all. The potential experience that is not there because you're not involved. So again, this isn't me bashing single moms. There are good women out there. Just because you're a single mom doesn't mean you're no good, or you know, you're just doomed or whatever. But I personally, the experiences that I've had, I don't recommend getting involved with a woman that has kids already, because you run a few risks. There's the element of the baby daddy being in the picture and causing all types of problems, like was in the case with me. And if it's not the baby daddy, there's also the element of the kids. They don't like you for whatever reason. Well, I don't think he disliked me, but maybe he did. He set my fucking car on fire. So perhaps he did dislike me. But he never failed to ask me for favors, ask me for money. Can I take him here? You know, like he always was asking me for favors, and I always looked out for him. So whatever dislike he may have had for me, it certainly wasn't something that I did to him, because I was always good to him. So take these stories as you will. you know, you can use these stories as a cautionary tale and be like, you know, yeah, I don't think I want to experience anything like this stuff he talking about. Or you can be like, I don't know what I'm talking about, get involved anyway, and one day be telling some stories worse than the ones that I'm sharing with you. So the choice is yours. I will leave you with this though. That suburban gangster nonsense, it eventually caught up to him. He did something stupid to some guys that was looking for him. Those guys was not playing around. Like they came knocking on our door. They came knocking on other people's door. They was looking for him, and I could tell that they weren't looking for him to talk. They eventually had to have found him because he got his fingertip cut off. He got his fingertip cut off. He had sent the picture to his mom. I actually still have the picture. I remember where I was when she sent it to me. I was at work at the time. And I still have that picture. I never deleted it. And I'd be lying if I sat up here and told y'all that when I saw he got fucked up like that, that I didn't take some sort of delight in it. I did. You know, whoever those guys was that cut his finger like that, it looked like they took, I don't know, like hedge clippers or something and just cut his shit in half. Whoever did him like that, they was not kidding around. And in this city, he lucky to still be breathing. He lucky that that's all that they did. If whatever he did made them mad enough to retaliate that way. So I'm sure y'all gonna have a lot to say about this story. So leave me them comments. Y'all know I always reply in some way to the comments. Y'all got any questions, shoot them to me. If you like this story, thumbs up the video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate y'all as always connecting with me. And I mean, you know, I don't know, I may have more stories like this for y'all in the future. I'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.